Evening everybody, it is Wednesday the 25th of January 2017 and not quite nearly a couple of hours ago, exactly a year ago was when I started the Dram A challenge, and it is done. We are finished. I am filming this at the same time on Facebook, so there's an iPad just here that I'm pointing at because I'm getting into this live streaming thing and it's quite fun, but I'm not going to look at the comments because they're going to be cheeky. So I knew that I wanted to finish on Ardbeg as my very last one, and if you've seen some of my videos over the last year, you'll have heard me mention about the Ardbeg 1977, which was the one that turned me into a complete whiskey geek. Just blew my mind. I can still remember the day I tried it. I can remember exactly where I was in Oddbins, Newcastle, stood behind the counter with tasting bottles behind me, and it knocked my socks off. It just was the one that completely changed my life. Absolute epiphany, genuinely. And several months ago, I can't even remember when, but Soren Krebs, who you'll find on Twitter at OCD Whisky, very, very, very generously gave me some of his Ardbeg 1977. So here it is. It is a Tiptree marmalade jam jar, so I'm hoping it's not going to have notes of strawberry jam or something like that, but this is it. So for the benefit of you, there you go, Ardbeg 1977. For you on Facebook, there it is, Ardbeg 1977. I'm a little bit nervous about trying this, I'll be honest, because it might not be as good as I remember. I'm hoping it is, but we shall see. So we'll see. But before I have this, and I'm not going to talk about the distillery because I've already done it, what we'll do is I'll put a picture of the bottle up. And I do know, because I've just checked, the Whisky Exchange is selling a bottle of this for exactly £1,000. So it ain't cheap stuff, but in my head, it's worth it. Once I've tried it, it might not be worth it. However, before I try it, I have to thank a load of people. So it might get a bit boring, but I've got to do this because everybody that has got me to this stage, I can't thank you enough. It's been a brilliant, absolutely wonderful roller coaster ride's a bit twee and a bit of a cliche, but it has been. I can't believe I've got here. I really can't. It just felt like I've been doing this forever. So I have a printout, and then I've added names and added names. So I'll start with the people that donated whiskey. Probably the most important people because they're the people that got me there. And this is no particular order, well, it's alphabetical order because I didn't want to make people feel that they were worse off or anything. So it is literally a spreadsheet that I've put into alphabetical order. So Alan Stott, Andrew A.P. Butler probably does deserve a special mention because he did donate 57 miniatures. And he has also given me something that may help me continue the challenge on in a different format, and I'll get back to that in a bit. Andrew Watson, who is part of the British Bourbon Society, who, as I speak, are going through the process of holding a raffle to win a particular bottle of bourbon, but they are donating all the proceeds from the raffle to my Just Giving page, and at the moment it is over 300 quid, which is just stunning. And there are a couple of guys on there saying, look, if everybody puts a certain amount in, we can get to £1,000. Incredible, just incredible generosity, just unbelievable. Andy Flatt, the amateur drummer, really enjoyed doing a live stream tasting with him of the Spey, top bloke, and also helped me out to get one of the really good bottles at the auction at the final event. Barry Bradford of the Whisky Files sent me a number of donations, was also responsible for giving me Fujikai. Barry, thanks for that. It was definitely good fun and it was a high point. It really was. Fujikai I will never forget, mainly for the wrong reasons, but I will never forget Fujikai. I've got Bruichladdich down because they sent me the sample, but towards the end of the challenge, to get me the bottles for the final gala for everybody to taste along with me, Christy McFarlane in particular at Bruichladdich, just incredible customer service, way above and beyond the Call of Duty, absolutely amazing stuff. Charlie Kavai, ex-whisky shop employee, top bloke, met him at the weekend for the first time in person, lovely fella. Chris and Nikki Spedding, who donated a bottle and then I neglected to put them on the thanks. I'm hoping, as long as I remember, that you will actually be on the end credits of this particular video. Chris and Lindsay Cook, who have been there since the start. I've known them for a couple of years from my whisky shop days, and they have properly supported me all the way through, and I probably wouldn't have been able to stick it out if it wasn't for them to urging me on. Chris Neville, also on the British Bourbon Society. Craig Moody of Boom Whisky. I've got a name that's just David. So David, whoever you are, whatever you donated, thank you. David Mason, I've got your surname. Eric and Laura Burgess, I think it's Burgess, of Weems Malts. When I met them at the Newcastle Whisky Festival, they sent me a sample of Weems. Hanu Tarvanian, that sent me the Finnish whiskey, which was very, very interesting indeed. Helen from next door, my next door neighbour just over there, with the Jack Daniels, and Aaron, which was excellent. Ian Forteeth of Angus Dundee, who sent me Tomintoul and Glencadam. I've got Interbev down, and I can't remember the girl's name that got in touch that sent me a couple of samples from them. James Booth, James Goggins, James Hope, Jason B. Standing, met him at the weekend. What a legend that man is in person. Jason Stover, who sent me some really interesting stuff. My mate Jeff Burke, who sent me a sample in the post. I didn't even know he knew I was doing this challenge, and unfortunately I'd already had the Penderyn, but Jeff, thank you for sending that anyway. It was a really nice touch. Jim Urquhart, who lives in my village. Joe Lawson, lovely Joe Lawson, such a nice woman, one of the first people to send me samples. Just, you got me the ball rolling. You and Jason Standing were the two that really made me believe in the fact that I could maybe complete the challenge, and also made me realise just how wonderful people could be and how generous they could be. Joe Ellis of Ex Whisky Wednesday, saw him at the weekend again, top bloke. In fact, I've got Joe Ellis and Joseph Ellis, so you're so good I named you twice. John Pitts, my old whisky shop assistant manager. Kai Lingerman, Kevin Tapp, the Lincoln Whisky Shop, whose names I can't remember what they were called, the couple, and I'm in Lincoln the next few days, so I'll pop in and say hello. Maltman Mike Little, just been there again from quite early days, just, you know, when he's not giving me grief, he's giving me very, very good support. Matthew Venables, some fantastic stuff that you sent me there. Michael Bradley, Mike Fisher, Mr. X, I'm still not going to tell you what his name is. It is a he, I'll give you that much. That was about 30 samples, he said, and there was also the grain miniatures. Before the auction, he said, if you don't make enough, I will buy them off you, and I'll take them back off you, but I'll put a donation in. So I was like, well, do you want to put a reserve on? Let's go for about 30 quid. 125 quid they went for in the end, so fantastic result, absolutely brilliant. Nigel Crude, North Bank Al, Arsenal supporter, fellow Gooner, good on you, mate. Ollie Chilton was there on the night, and you know, Ollie and me, we beat each other, but he really is a top bloke. Pete James in America put a very, very handsome bid into one of the items on auction. Quint of the Well Aged Scotch channel sent me a few samples, and I think he's still doing his videos, so please do keep watching them. Soren, OCD Whiskey, responsible for this. The Lakes Distillery, can't remember who it was that did it. Kirsty and Stewart at the Whiskey Corner, sending me some really, really tasty samples. Inchmurrin, still in my head, just really, really good stuff. The Whiskey Lounge, now I've got Joe Clark down in the Whiskey Lounge. He's not working for them now, but Joe, Eddie, Amanda, all the people at the Whiskey Lounge, helping them out at the Newcastle Whisky Festival, helping them out at the York Whisky Festival. Great fun, loved it, met loads of people. Love doing it. If you need another pair of hands, then just give us a shout. Martin at the Whisky Shop in York. Tobias von Neubrunner. What a legend that man is. He is just one of the most generous people I have ever known. And he's just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful human being. Tara Wine and More in Orlando, when I managed to get some samples from them, and I can't remember the girl's name. It was something like Alicia. I can't remember, but she was brilliant. Thank you so much. And Will Knock, who also sent me a couple of samples and again was involved in the auction. I wanted to mention some people on my YouTube channel that have consistently commented and in the main have been really, really positive as well, and have been there for quite a while. So Cato, don't know what your name is. Lewis Wells, who's just been really pumping it out there in terms of giving me really good vibes and really positivity. Tim Kennedy, Matt Aspinall, Red Mordecai, who he knows his whiskies, and he definitely kind of like reams off loads of information, but God, you think I'm passionate about whiskey. Reb Mordecai, he is passionate about whiskey. Welch Toro, H. Hemphill, Christopher Malloy and Dan E, who I annoyed a little bit with my Trump comment the other day, but we've made friends, it's all okay. Triple Cap and Art Moore, thank you all for following me, thank you all for watching, for making great positive comments and really keeping me going when I was feeling like I was just kind of shouting in the void. There's a guy called Samford Hamby, who I think is a priest, or he's a man of the cloth anyway, and he pretty much likes every video that I do on YouTube, and it pings up on Twitter. He's like this, and I think he's watched every video that I've done. He's mad, but really appreciate it. Mark Gillespie, the honey-voiced, silken-toned Mark Gillespie of Whisky Cast. Given me a couple of interviews on his shows, gave me some great publicity, and you know, his voice, man, just lovely voice. Vin Perry French of No Nonsense Whiskey, great fun doing a live stream tasting with him, and if you're not subscribed to his channel, do subscribe to his channel. He's a top bloke. Likewise, the Scotch Test Dummies, really enjoyed my Kilhoman live stream tasting with them. And Mark Kaufman of Whiskey Whistle, what a gentleman that guy is, he really is, and I'd love to do another tasting with him. So there's some Facebook groups that have allowed me to post my video every single day, and it's been a bit of a kind of chore to kind of upload video, share to this, share to that, share to this, but they've let me do it. They've not turned around and gone, no, stop cluttering up our Facebook groups. So the Bourbon Lovers UK chapter, the Whiskey, Bourbon and Scotch Enthusiasts, the Whiskey to the World, which I think Maltman Mike runs, Super Single Malts, the British Bourbon Society, they've all let me post my videos on a daily basis with no complaints, nothing. It's been absolutely fantastic. Malt Maniacs and Friends, okay, they didn't let me post the videos, but they've given me some good support and some good advice and things like that. If you listen to podcasts, do listen to the Bourbon Gents. Both of them were there at the event. It was lovely to see them in the flesh. They don't look like their voices. I had pictured somebody completely different to them, but they were top blokes, and one of them won one of the auction items. The Merrycast, I actually dropped off the barrel head from Buffalo Trace today to Dan of the Merrycast, although it sounds like the Merrycast is no more, but they might be thinking of doing something different and maybe a little bit more grown up. And with the Whiskey Topic podcast as well. If you're not listening to them, Jamie and, oh crap, what's his name? Mark? Jamie and Mark. If you're not listening to them, you should be. In terms of the final event on Saturday, it was absolutely brilliant. I was bricking it. Really genuinely, like, not even butterflies, more than butterflies, a tornado of butterflies in my stomach, just panicky, shaky, on edge, but watching it back, it seemed to have gone all right, and I've had some good comments about it, so I really do appreciate that, because that makes me feel a lot better. I do need to thank the people that donated items, be it people like Andrew A.P. Butler, who put something in. My dad, who let me nab some bottles off him to put in. Fortunately, they're ones he's got another one of, so it's not so bad. Glenn Murray, sending that 25-year-old, amazing, absolutely brilliant. And I need to thank Andy Flatt for getting in touch with them to get them to donate it. Adam Buxton, I do like Adam Buxton, but I don't know if he's a whiskey drinker. Ian Buxton, on the other hand, is definitely a whiskey drinker, really, really generous to send a signed copy of his book. And I don't think he was expecting it to have sold for 125 quid at the auction, but it did. Aoife at Irish Distillers, who donated a bottle of Redbreast Lustale, which I was like, oh, I really want that myself. And then I found out yesterday that they were actually sending two. So one has gone to Jason B. Standing, and they've actually gifted me one, essentially as a way of, you know, thank you, congratulations for doing what you've done. So a bottle of Redbreast Lustale turned up with my name on it. So I should be sharing that out to friends and family, but I'm really looking forward to opening that. Susie Watkins is on the Bourbon Lovers Facebook group, and she works for Buffalo Trace. So I contacted her to say, would you think Buffalo Trace would be able to send anything towards the auction? She passed me on to the fantastically named Candy Charters. who is based in America, who got me in touch with a lady called Sam Brown, who's based over in the UK and is part of the distribution for Buffalo Trace. They sent me a signed barrelhead, signed by the master distiller of Buffalo Trace and the CEO of Sazerac, who own Buffalo Trace. Barrelhead, printed, signed, the lot, and also a stave that had all 8 Blanton's cork stoppers on that have got the horses on, all of it. God, I want that. They both went on the auction. The barrelhead and both of them went together for nearly 200 quid. A fantastic amount towards the auction. So Buffalo Trace, thank you so much. Chris at the Dram team who send out samples of whiskey, they collated 2 packs from people kind of based down in like Bath and Bristol. So Jason B. Standing and Chris, Rob Pryor of the Real Dram, Steve Prentice, somebody else, John at Scotch and Sci-Fi, pack of 5, 2 packs of them, amazing stuff in there. I saw it and then it disappeared out the door again after the auction. So whatever was in it, it was pretty damn special. And the people at the Principal Hotel, they did I tell you now, when I went to them and said, I'd like to do this charity event in your Oak Room because it's absolutely perfect, they came back to me with a cost. This is how much it's going to cost you. And I went back to them to say, are you sure this is right? Because this is way, way under what I thought it was going to be. And they were like, no, it's a charity event. We want to support charities. This is what we're going to do for you. And it meant that I could do the event on Saturday night with friends and family and people who've supported me and made a hell of an effort to come up. Some of them from Scotland, down in London, coming up to join me to celebrate, and it was an absolute blast. It was absolutely amazing. So everybody that turned up, the people that were involved in the auction, the online side of it was kind of a little, we got away with it, but it could have been a bit better. So everybody that bid and won and everything like that, really, really appreciate it. We're nearly at the end of the thank yous, by the way, so we're getting there. Claxton's Whiskies, who they're based in Knaresborough, which isn't too far away from York. And one of the guys there, Adrian, contacted me a few months ago and said, I've seen what you're doing, really, really, really like it. We'd like to help out. Would you be interested in doing a bottling for a Dram A Day where we would put the profits towards your charity? What? Excuse me? So I've been working with Adrian. He has bottled and I'm going to put a picture of it now as to what it looks like. It's an 8-year-old Ardmore that has been matured in Lefroy casks. I'm going to do a separate video because I've got a sample bottle of it at the moment. It is being finished off at the moment. You can buy it from a place called Gauntleys, and I'll put the website up now. I think it's just gauntleys.com. They're based in Nottingham, but they do have the capability to ship overseas. So if you're watching from overseas, you will be able to buy a bottle of this. There are 54 bottles in existence. It is $49.95 a bottle, and all the profits from the sales of the bottle will go to 2 charities. One will go to a Dram A Day's charity, the Children's Heart Surgery Fund. The other will go to a charity that Gauntly support called the Jessica Hope Foundation. And this is a charity that was set up after the owner of Gauntly, so I think his surname is Gauntly. His daughter died because of, I think it was a brain tumour, and he set up this Jessica Hope Foundation to essentially promote awareness of brain tumours in children and cancer in children. So it's not too far removed from the Children's Heart Surgery Fund, so I have absolutely no issues with the profits being split between the two. So if you buy that bottle, and if you watch the video when I do it, it's a really, really good whiskey. Unusual for being matured in in a Lefroy cask, but it's fantastic stuff. And you can buy this bottle knowing that the profits are going to go to a good cause. So Claxton's and Gauntly. So Adrian at Claxton's, Chris Goodrum at Gauntly's. Thank you so much. To be able to now turn around and say I've got my own bottle of whiskey is just mind-blowingly stupid. That's like way out there. And finally, probably the most important people that have been involved with me through this challenge, my mum and dad, who have kept me going through it, Rebecca and Simeon, Vaughan's parents, who have encouraged me and supported me and really given me the impetus to keep going and keep driving and get to the end. And then Vicky, my wife, who has put up with me as tonight. She's in the other room, sat on her own because all the kids are in bed, finally. Even the little one, eventually. might be up in 2 minutes, but they're asleep now. And she's put up with me having to come in here, not every night, because I've done it every other night, that sort of thing, but doing the whole social media thing and trying to promote and putting up with me getting really panicky about Saturday night and all of this lot for a year, you know, going on holiday and having me slope off to do some videos and then coming back. She has put up with a hell of a lot, and I really I can't put into words how grateful I am for her for enabling me to do this and putting up with me. And it will continue, because, and while I'm talking about this, I'm going to pour this so I can finally try the damn thing. So I've done a bit of maths. Oh, no, in fact, I'll tell you where we stand. Oh God, I can't open it. There we go. I haven't told you the final result. Let's do that first. So, as you know, I'm not particularly good at maths, really. I'm genuinely not very good at maths. So I've got on the other side of the sheet all sorts of calculations, and Vicky has been helping me with this, and we just couldn't fathom it out, because we've got cash that we've got on the night, but that includes ticket sales. We've got stuff that's been paid on Just Giving. We've got stuff in a bank account where I've had ticket sales going, but then I've had some payments go, and it's all a bit like, but that goes there. We've got there, I think, in the end. So right at this point in time, if we were to draw a line in the sand and go, the challenge ends now, there is £4,060 in the Just Giving page, which includes a couple of sales from the auction, which is quite a result just on its own. That's pretty amazing to even hit £4,000. That would be my dishwasher. It's not my washing machine, it's not playing a tune, sorry. So, the two auctions that we had, the live auction, which was 7 lots, raised 950 quid just on those 7 lots alone. The silent auction, so that was lots 8 to 28, so we had 20 lots, raised just unbelievable £1,612. So in total, we raised just over 2.5 grand just on the auction, which is amazing, absolutely amazing. So I've done the adding. Vicky's done most of the adding, and I've gone, yeah, that goes there, and okay, yeah, I'll go with it. And from what we can figure out, and we've still got payments to come from the auctions, we've still got people to figure out where the money comes from and everything like that. But along with bits from the night, from the donations on the night and everything like that, I think we are looking at £6,500, which is just amazing. It's just incredible, absolutely incredible, to have got £6,500. Just, I can't put it into words. I don't know what to say. I didn't think I'd get anywhere near 5 grand. As I've said quite a few times, it was literally a finger in the air moment. I have no idea. But to get over it and then get over it by a lot is so, I'm so proud. I'm so happy at that. So now I'm going to pour my Ardbeg 77 by way of congratulating myself, and I shall talk about what we're going to do, and I'm hoping you're going to join me for the rest of it. So, Soren, it's not quite 25 mils, but I can't really complain. So we know my maths isn't very good, so it took me a couple of attempts. But if I was to go to try and get 500 unique whiskies, so I've done 366, and in order to get to 500, I am actually using my calculator because my maths is that bad. I need to do 334 more whiskies, unique. So I'm not going to count this as one. That's why this is 366.5. I'm not going to turn around and go, right, I'm going to get to 500 whiskies, but it's going to be ones that I've done already. Totally different distilleries, totally different brands. So anything that I've not done yet, I've not covered off. So I'll do a completely new list where it's all in alphabetical order, probably broken into Scotch and American and things like that, and try and get to 5. So you will have, by the end of this, 500 videos of each distillery or each separate brand that you might come across in a shop around the world. So I need 134 more videos, right? I'm not going to do this every day. I can't do it every day. It's too much. But what if, right, Burns Night next year is on a Wednesday. Jan 25th, 2018 is Wednesday? No, it's a Thursday because it's Wednesday today. Get with the program, Ben, come on. So it's a Thursday. So what if, instead of going for Burns night, and because Saturday was so much fun, and it was a lot of fun, Saturday 27th of January 2018, if I aim to hit number 500 on that day, and we could maybe have another party and another celebration. And so I'm giving myself a year. So 134, we've got 52 weeks in a year. 134 divided by 52 is not 0.49, what are you on about? Divided by 52 is 2.57 drams per week. Now I've done 3 drams in a night on fairly regular occasions. So I could do 3 drams one night a week, Friday night, Saturday night, something like that. And if I then just stagger the videos, so you might get one, I don't know, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, something like that. You get some videos on a fairly regular basis. It's not going to be every day, but it does mean that I'm going to be once a week. I've got the rest of the week to spend time with Vicky, with my kids, doing ironing, playing video games, watching telly for a change. So it's not encroaching too much into my life. Or if I go on holiday, it doesn't matter, you know, I could just either catch up or get ahead of myself a little bit. And then by the 27th of January 2018, bang, 500 done. I've got potentially £6,500 already, not right now because I need the payments to come through and I've got money to transfer, but £6,500 I've managed to achieve in a year. That only leaves me £3,500 to get to 10 grand. And that would be a challenge. But I think I could do it, particularly if we look at maybe doing a repeat of Saturday and maybe having another auction and maybe actually knowing what we're doing this time. I say we, me, knowing what I'm doing this time and knowing in advance that we're going to have this thing at the end of it, so we can start planning for it and maybe seeing if people are willing to donate bottles or other interesting things. Then I am quite confident, quietly confident, you know, because I'm not going to get ahead of myself and I'm not going to go, oh, I'm definitely going to do it. It's dead easy, because it's not. But I think there is a really good chance. 5 grand at the start of the challenge was the total. I've got no chance, but this feels like it's achievable. Now, what does help is that Andrew AP Butler on Saturday night gave me a little package here of a lot of sample. I'm not going to count it. And what he's done here is they're all masked off, and there's a little flap on there. These are all me for a blind tasting. Thanks, Andrew. But what he said is that some of these are ones that I haven't yet covered off in the challenge in terms of a brand or a distillery. So he's sent me these very, very kindly, and I am quite tempted to do these as videos. But the ones that then don't count, the ones that haven't counted towards the challenge before, I will count them. And I've got a few other bits and pieces. I've got some spares, as it were, ones that I could include but actually pulled out because I've got some other things. So I've already got a few already to kind of get me going over the next few weeks. And then if you know, once I've got the list out, if you know of somebody that, or if you've got any contacts in the industry and you know there's particular distilleries, it's going to be less Scotch, to be honest, and it's going to be more American, possibly Irish. I know there's a lot of American out there. Indian, I think, is going to be a bit of a tricky one, but you know, there's enough brands out there. If you know people that have maybe got samples or miniatures, or people in distilleries that might be willing to send me a sample, again, 25ml sample of the basic version. That's all I'm looking for, because what I'm going to try and do is then do the history and the background behind it. That's what I want to do. So over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to do some of these of Andrew's, and the ones that don't count towards the challenge, I'll then do a little spiel afterwards about what the distillery is and where it's from and the history and the bit that interests me. So that is the plan. This is Ardbeg 1977. It doesn't smell of strawberry jam, so you're lucky, Soren. There's too much in there. It's 46% and it's £1,000 a bottle. And there is just, it's subtle. It's not in your face, but there is power and depth, and there is obvious complexity in there. and it's almost too hard to pick out because there is so much. There is sea salt and sea air and pepper and fire and smoke and earth and greenery and a dark sky with sunlight. It's so evocative of place and time. It's just stunning. It smells of age and antiquity as well. It's really weird. It just explodes in my head, but it just brings up images of movies. Of, you know, I nose this and I get an image of the Kurgan trying to kill Connor MacLeod in Highlander, but the weird bit when it's set back in time and Connor MacLeod is living in his own kind of castle and the Kurgan's hacking down the castle walls and they start exploding outwards. And it brings back that because it's just like history and Scotland and everything in a glass. Oh, I'd smell it for hours. I'm not, because we've done half an hour already. It's weird because as I rested it in my mouth, I was a little bit like, oh dear. It was almost like there was nothing really there. If you rest it in your mouth, it's a bit like resting it in the glass. It's just kind of sat there. But then, as you start to push it back to the back of your mouth with your tongue, as you move it, it's almost like as you move it, the whole thing wakes up and your mouth just explodes with so many flavors. And it's an overload of flavors. It's just, it loads your senses up, but it's not like Octomore where it dulls it. It just gives you every single flavor on earth in one go. You know, like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and Roald Dahl writes about the sweets that give you a 3-course meal in one go, and they're talking about, oh, I get this, I get that, and then I get roast beef and all this lot. This is like all the flavors just combined into one, and somehow your brain is able to kind of pick everything out, but it moves, there's so many flavors that your brain can't say quick enough what these flavors are. I could pick flavors out, and you know, they'll all be there. You could name any flavor and it's probably in there. Anything from bananas to toffee to sweets to earth to fire to barbecued meats, and it goes on forever. I can still taste it now. I could sit here for 10 minutes and I'd probably still taste it. It just, I'm so glad it's as good as I remember. And this was the one. This was the one where I thought, how on earth does a liquid, any liquid in a glass, have that intensity and that range of flavors and that ability to carry on going in your mouth when you've swallowed it down, to still be able to taste it? It's, everything is on as you swallow. As you roll it around your mouth, it's almost like it's playing with you. It's almost like it's sitting there waiting. If you roll it around your mouth, there's not a great deal there. There's a slight oakiness. The peat is subtle as anything. But it's as you swallow, it really toys with you. It really goes, I'm going to wait. No, you're not having my flavours yet. And then just as you go, I'll swallow you then. Bang, everything. And it's literally like a big bang. It's like, you know, you get those TV programs where they talk about the big bang. And you get this little star, and then all of a sudden everything just goes, and it's that. It's that in your glass and your mouth. And it just explodes. And it's everything, absolutely everything in your mouth. I'm actually a little emotional because I'm relieved. I was scared that it wasn't going to be as good. But it is. It's easily as good. And if I was going to buy a bottle for £1,000, it would be that. It absolutely would be that. It's amazing stuff. Right. I am done. I'm not done though. The challenge will continue. So if you can help me to get to £10,000, it would be very much appreciated. But I've enjoyed this far, far, far too much to really stop now. I just can't do it every day. I really can't. It was a challenge, and that was the point of the challenge. It wouldn't have been a challenge otherwise. It would have been relatively easy to go, oh well, I'll do all the same whiskies, and I'll do a run of Glenmorangie, and I'll do a run of run of Ardbeg would have been nice, but to try and do all the different ones meant it was a challenge. To release a video every single day made it a challenge, and I did it. Didn't think I would, but I did. And everybody watching and everybody commenting on there, you all helped me get there. So it is with great honour that I say thank you all to all of you, to everybody watching, to everybody on Facebook now, everybody that's been involved has got me to this stage and has got this money going to a charity that are going to help save children's lives. So if you'll join me for another year, it will be a pleasure to have you join me, and hopefully we can get that total even bigger and save even more lives. So Soren, thank you for the 77. It was worth it in the end, and I shall see you at 367. But I think I'm going to have to come up with a different name. What about, I thought about the Dram Toner 500, but that's rubbish. A Dram A Day, The Adventures Continue? No, I don't know. If anybody's got any ideas for a title for this extra bit, just to delineate it from a Dram A Day, the next 134, it needs a title, it needs something funky and catchy, but I just can't figure out what. So if you've got any ideas, please do let me know relatively quickly, because I'm probably going to be doing my next videos of Andrew's blind tasting challenge thing over the probably, where are we, Wednesday, maybe Friday or Saturday, so that I can get cracking on it. But to all of you, from the bottom of my heart and the heart of my bottom, I thank you very, very, very much, and I shall see you at the next one. Cheers.